I'm joined by someone who has had the incredible opportunity to represent Australia on an international pageant stage as Miss Cosmo Australia. Jada Kristile Kyle proudly wore Australia's sash at Miss Cosmo International, experiencing everything that comes with competing on a global stage. From the pressure of competition to the friendships, memories, and personal growth that comes with representing your country. Alongside her pageant journey, Jada has also connected with audiences through her creativity, humour, and passion for dance, building a strong presence online and sharing her personality with people around the world. Today, we're talking about life as Miss Cosmo Australia, the reality of competing internationally, the moments behind the crown, the lessons learned beyond the stage, and what's next for Jada as she continues to grow in pageantry, performance, and beyond. Jada, welcome to the Your Set Pageant podcast series.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to sit down and chat to you. I know we hung out a little bit at the Miss Australia or Miss Grand Australia pageant, and that was so lovely for me. So we'll just get straight into things. So looking back, what does being Miss Cosmo Australia really mean to you?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it feels like a lifetime ago that I was crowned. It feels so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago at all. It was years of hard work coming to realization. So probably did see that I placed actually first runner-up twice at Miss Grand Australia. And the first time I competed at Miss Grand Australia was the first time I'd been on stage. And to go all the way like from never touching a stage before to placing first runner up, it put something in me that I couldn't ignore. It was that kind of feeling like, oh, I've got to do this. I've got to see it through. So when that happened, I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll do it again." But then Miss Cosmo appeared. And I actually, fun fact, applied for Miss Cosmo in the first edition, for Miss Cosmo Australia in the first edition, and was rejected because I didn't have enough experience. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna keep my eye on this. This looks really interesting. And I watched Lydia and her journey as she went overseas and she represented Australia beautifully. She did so phenomenal, but I loved the idea of it. I loved the culture. I loved the fashion and the art that was imbued within the actual pageant itself. So watching it was in my mind. And as it got towards crunch time for my second time doing Miss Grand Australia, it was a bit like, oh, well. I've got this in my head, but like, what do I want? Which one do I want? So I did both. And
Mm.
you obviously know the amount of hard work that goes into it, the amount of training, the amount of sacrifice, the amount of money, all rolled up into one to see it actually come to fruition and to do the thing, to actually set out and do the thing that you set out to do. It kind of affirmed to me that like I can do really hard things. I can do anything I have put my mind to. And it sounds so cheesy, but actually doing the thing that you want to do is the most gratifying feeling of all time.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. I didn't know that you were interested in Miss Cosmo even before your, grand endeavours and things like that. But
Yeah.
because that's what I was going to ask is what inspired you to enter Miss Cosmo Australia in particular, because I know you knew the national directors from doing Miss Grand, so that must have been nice to go into the next competition, kind of knowing what the expectations were. But what drew you to Cosmo in particular?
Well, it was modern, and that really appealed to me. You've probably kind of noticed from being around me, I'm not your typical pageant girl. I'm loud, I'm audacious, I'm obnoxious.
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
go that
always the
far.
most polished person. I'm I'm a modern woman. I'm very multidimensional. I believe if you want to stand there like very pretty and very poised all the time, more power to you. That is just never going to be me. It's not who I am authentically. And if you try and make me shine through that, I won't shine. It just dulls me. So me actually going out and being a little bit crazy, a little bit kooky, as I usually am, I saw that was being celebrated at Miss Cosmo. I saw that kind of like genuine personality where if you are poised, fantastic. If that's who you are, that's great. If you are loud and you are a little bit unpolished, but like a bit of a diamond in the rough, phenomenal. Also great. That is celebrated. And I really liked seeing that. And I saw that specifically from Tata and Mook, who are the top two, the first ever top two of Miss Cosmo. You know, Mook was this really well-trained pageant queen. She had done this before, and it was her last time ever competing. She'd competed a lot. And she
Mm.
was really, really working too hard towards it. And you could tell she was so polished. You could tell she was so experienced. And then there was Tata, who was kind of in her first ever pageant run, which is crazy, mind you, to not only get a title, to go all the way to internationals and win internationals. And you could kind of tell like she's not a pageant girl. She'll never be a pageant girl. And I was like, that could be me. I could see myself doing that. So that's what really drew me to it, especially as someone who you can train me up all you want. You can put me in whatever clothes you want, but I'll never be the like complete, like, polished package. And that is what makes me special. And that's what's celebrated at Cosmo. And that's what drew me in.
Yeah, and I so agree. That's so lovely to say. And I think, yeah, I think you downplay yourself a lot. You are incredibly polished and but in different ways and authentic. So, and I think that's really what stood out for your reign as well to me. And what I loved watching is whether you're at Grand and then you got to represent at Cosmo, is you stayed true to yourself. And that's something I did love about the Cosmo International competition. And I noticed from its winners that yeah, it was more about personality and actually showcasing who you are and the country you represent. So I love that that's what drew you in and that's what you stuck by. So that's great to hear. So, what was actually going through your mind when you were announced as the winner?
Nothing.
Oh,
I don't know if you have seen the video. I screamed. I don't know if you
yes,
remember screaming. I was like,
just a guttural reaction.
I was like, I think it was relief. I
Yeah.
think I tell people that it was relief, right?
Mm,
Because when every title holder knows this, maybe except like a few who really didn't know they were going to win, but like most title holders know they're going to win beforehand. You get a feeling, it's like a really beautiful calm, a lot of
mm,
pride in yourself the entire week. If you saw me at MAP, I was the calmest person ever. I was so chill. I was just having a blast. I was like, you know what? This is my last ever national pageant. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. I'm like, but I know I'm gonna win. I knew it in my head. I was like, I'm gonna win. So when my name was called and Charlotte and Sophie decided to do it last because they knew my reaction would be what it was. They said it was the best reaction. Um, and the second my name was called, I was like, oh, thank God. I was like,
mm,
thank God, I'm the last to be called. Like at that point, there's no other title to fall back on when you're the last to be called, especially. So they went through the list, like, Supra, Global, Intercon, and I was like, okay, I haven't got one of those titles, so it's either this or nothing. And that's
mm,
been a very common theme in the last few years. Like, it's this or nothing. Like, it's
mm.
this or nothing. And when they said it, I was like, I think just all of the tension just dropped from my body. And I was like, oh. And then the next thought that went through my head was, oh my God, this crown is huge. This is massive. I kept saying, it's meganormous. Like, oh my God, it's meganormous. And I was like, wait, I'm crying. I'm crying. Why am I crying? And I just kept saying thank you. And watching back, it's so funny because I don't even remember any of that. Watching it back is like the best memory I can get. But all I remember is saying, like, the crown is massive. You
Yeah,
probably felt the same thing when it's on your head. It's like,
honestly, it's like a rush, it's kind of a rush moment too, because then it's like you're announced and you're in such shock. I remember feeling the same. I was quite calm. It's probably the most calm I've ever been at Miss Grand Australia, the national final week. And just feeling like, well, if it's mine, it's mine. And I feel like I'm ready. But yeah, it's still that moment where, yeah, and then it gets put on your head and you don't know what to do, you don't know how to react, but
yeah.
everything's just happening.
And although it's not quiet,
Mhm,
like I know what the room is loud, everything is really quiet. You
mhm.
like you can't hear anything. It feels quiet. I don't remember them saying like take your first walk. Everything was dead silent and I was crying. That's it.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, switching now to a bit more of the international journey, uh, what was your first impression when you got there and you were at Miss Cosmo International?
It's funny. I really struggled at first.
Mm,
Like I had just been at my national pageant 4 weeks earlier. So this was an entirely new experience, and you can prepare as much as you want for something like that, but it'll never be enough. You will never know the actual feeling unless you've done it before.
Mhm.
And I got there and I felt really just, how do I even explain the word? I just felt really out of place at first. And I think it was because I was trying to put on a more polished personality at first. And I've learned not to do that now because you shine so much more when you don't. When you put through your personal, like your actual personality. I was trying to be someone I wasn't at first, and very quickly I realized that that wasn't the way to go. But I was really like shocked with the scale of it all.
Mm.
Cosmo is it's a second edition pageant. It's now going into only third edition, and to have the scale it did that early on was absolutely just, I was like, oh, wow, this is huge. This is really, really big. And I actually stayed in the city, I think a night before I went in for arrivals, and people already knew who I was,
Mm.
like the hotel staff. And I was like, oh my God, me? You know me?
Mhm.
And like the amount of fans, the Vietnamese people are amazing. They love Miss Cosmo. So it was honestly, it was a lot. It was very hard to kind of grapple with. I was in like six different minds about it, not even two, it was six. And it was just a lot going on at once. And I think that's why I struggled at first because I couldn't really comprehend what was going on. I'd never experienced it before, and it was just entirely new to me. But you relax into it. So don't let
Yeah.
it discourage you because I think everyone's probably experienced the same thing going to an international pageant. You get there and you're like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah, I
what am
think
I
you get that
doing?
that shock to the system, I think is probably expected for anything that huge. And yeah, the scale, I guess we're not used to it in Australia in particular with our pageantry. It's just not the same scale, which I hope it gets there eventually. But so on that note, what was the atmosphere like when you met the other international delegates? How do you feel then?
Well, it depended on the person.
Hmm.
There are some really heavy pageantry forward countries who have tactics for communicating with other delegates. So, like, they'll probably be a bit more closed off at first. And I did experience that, and I understood. You kind of know that going in that that's going to happen. Um, but I made friends very quickly. I'm very like annoying. I'll be in your face. I'm like, hey, hi, 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 until we become friends and all. And that's pretty much what happened. I remember when I got to the host hotel, Canada was already there. So I saw her and I was like, that's my roommate. I just knew. I didn't know officially by then, but I knew. I was like, that's my roommate. We're going to be sharing a room. And she ended up being my roommate. When they told us, I was like, and we clicked like this. We were like inseparable from the immediate second. You could also tell who was going to go far just by meeting them. Like I always tell people, it's the funniest story ever. Yolena, who won this year, who was one of my closest friends, or last year, was one of my closest friends throughout the entire process, USA. You could hear her before you could see her. She walked in and she's like, "Hi, I'm Yolena. I'm from the USA." And I was like, "Ah, there she is. There's USA." But she was so bright, and you could just tell she really took the time to learn about every single person and talk to every single person. And she found a baseline to kind of relate to everyone
Mhm.
every single time she talked to someone. So that's what kind of stood out. You could really tell straight away, but everyone was actually really kind. I don't think I really had a bad experience with anyone. Um, Obviously, when you're in a group of girls for a month, you're going to have like little disagreements and so on, which did happen. But everyone made friends, and that was like the best part. It was a very close circle of girls, even though there were 75 of us, it was very close.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. And I know that, yeah, your personality wise, you'd be very easy to make friends and connect with people. I was immediately drawn to you when I met you as well. So that's,
Oh.
yeah, that's really nice to hear that you were able to connect, yeah, across diverse cultures. It's just interesting to try and communicate. But I know Miss Cosmo's a newer international competition. What was the experience like behind the scenes? So we've talked about the delegates, kind of, yeah, getting the feel of what it's like there. But what about behind the scenes?
Oh, our swim show was meant to be outside by a pool. It rained all day. We went all
Oh,
inside and we didn't get to do the walking pattern. So it was just go out and do your best.
oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
things like that.
And
It just
Australia's
happens.
early on too, so that would have been
Best.
oh, that would have been so
At
fun.
its best. So I did like kind of like mess up a little bit, but you can't really expect too much from me. I went first. So
Yeah. No, no. You just do your best there, but I honestly I didn't notice anything wrong. You slayed everything, so.
cute.
So what are you surprised most about the experience with Miss Cosmo International?
I think everyone says the fans,
Hmm.
like the fans, truly the amount of fans. How many people like will support Australia without even knowing anything about you? And I love that. I met some beautiful people, and I still have like a note from one of the fans that sits on my desk now, and she would bring me like drinks and food because they do truly care about you. Genuinely, they care about you so much. They want to make sure you're healthy. One day she noticed I wasn't looking too good because I had a sty in my eye. I was like tired. I hadn't slept. I looked like I was in pain, but I think I was covering it really well. But she noticed and she brought me like medicine. She brought me Panadol. She brought me these little like, we don't have them in Australia, but they're like little like pain medicine, like pads to go on your like feet and stuff if you have an
Oh.
injury. So she bought those for my feet and she was just make sure you eat. I'm bringing you food, make sure you eat. Um, Bringing me matcha because she found out my favorite drink was like matcha and Coke Zero. So she would always have both for me. They actually care so much, and I don't think I could have gotten through it without them. They actually did save my life many times there, where I was just starving or I needed a drink, thirsty, and we were just rehearsing, 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 and they would show up every single time, and it did mean the world. And I think if I went back to Vietnam, I'd have friends there forever because they genuinely care so much. And like I've come from a random country, they don't have
Mhm.
to do that, but they
Wow,
do.
that's so incredible. That's so nice to hear that like the fans, yeah, care about your own well-being and the person that's not just the queen. That's so incredible. And I'm going to be traveling to Vietnam soon, so I'm so excited to hear about
Oh,
yeah,
it's
what your experience
beautiful.
is there and the people. So I can't wait for that. So what was one of your favorite moments from your competition journey? So you love the fans, you love the people, the delegates, but what's a highlight?
There were so many moments.
You can list a few if you
So
want.
many moments. Oh my gosh. Um, I think I'll give you my top three. Let's give me my top
Okay.
three breakdown. Um, the first time I actually stepped out on a proper stage, an actual stage, was my carnival costume, and it was freezing. It was actually freezing. You wouldn't expect it in Vietnam, but it was like Melbourne weather on steroids. It was very, very cold, and I was waiting to go up and I was wearing this massive costume. It was huge and I couldn't get out of it once I was in it, but I had to be in it because the organizers needed me to be ready to go at any given moment. Absolutely freezing. They had blankets, heat packs on me. They were holding it to my body. They gave me Panadol to take because I was actually getting quite a bit like of a migraine from the headpiece I was wearing.
Mm.
And I was like literally like this. There was videos of me and I'm like, actually, I look like I'm dying. And then they take me to the stage about 5 minutes later after that. I'm still freezing. I'm dying. I'm like holding it all in. I'm saving all my energy. And then the second the music goes, they drop the blanket. I'm like, let's go. I start dancing. I start dancing. I pull the energy back up myself and I walk out. And
Mhm.
the feeling of the crowd, like the screams hitting you and the cheers, that is a core memory for the rest of my life. Like I will remember that forever. Another favorite moment was the fashion show. I think that was just a beautiful moment. But after I left the fashion show, there were a group of Australians, a big group of Australians who were just walking by. And they saw all the countries coming out, and I was probably one of the last ones to come out. And they were waving
Mhm.
at me, and they were like, "There she is!" And they pulled like a big like Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi from me. And I was like, I feel like
Oh,
like
that would have been nice. Yeah.
getting a touch of home when you're so far away and you've been so
Mm.
far away from home for such a long time is the
Just
best.
hearing that accent would have been like, yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, my people,
Yeah.
what's up? And we were all out of wear like a bit more casual clothes after the fashion show. So I was just in jeans and the Miss Cosmo t-shirt because it's a very culturally sensitive area, so you have to be quite modest.
Yes.
So we were all in casual clothes, but I was in jeans. And they're like, of course she's in jeans. And I was like, yep,
Oh, wonderful.
that
Yeah,
was
so
great.
both moments kind of linked to, yeah, the connection with fans and then I
Yeah,
guess that adrenaline boost you get from an audience and it's like no other really in the pageantry.
absolutely. And the last one, sorry,
Oh,
quickly.
go, yeah.
It was just walking out onto the stage. At finals, even though I hadn't placed, I actually walked out with Canada, who was my roommate the entire time. So that was just a really sweet moment to finish
Mm.
off our journey.
Oh, wonderful. And you still stay connected with the girls and things like that?
Absolutely. I was actually on live stream with Yolena like a few days ago.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's so nice to
Still
stay
very
connected.
close with a lot of them.
Oh, great. And those big moments, I was wondering, how do you prepare mentally and physically for the things that you have to do internationally?
It's kind of like a do or die situation. You have to. Like, you have actually no choice when it comes down to it. I never stopped preparing. After I placed first runner up in Miss Grand Australia, I never stopped. I kept working towards it. And then I placed first runner up again, and I was like, well, I can't stop now. So I have to keep going. And you can't quite mentally prepare yourself ever. You just have to already be mentally strong. So that's what they look for in national pageants now is mental strength because and mental toughness because you can't teach that. You can't develop that. You just have to get it from somewhere. And I did already come in with a certain level of mental preparedness from dance and being a flight attendant and so on because those are tough, tough gigs.
Mhm.
So that was already there. But in terms of physical, honestly, my main concern was my health in general because I struggle with a few chronic illnesses, which make things difficult. So I really focused on building my immunity. That was
Mhm.
my massive thing. A lot of girls got sick. I was not one of them. The most I
Mhm.
got were like an allergic reaction and a sty. So I'm very grateful for that. And I felt it coming on a few times, but it didn't quite all go through. So
Mhm.
just taking care of my physical health in not necessarily in like working out. I don't think I worked out properly before I went to Cosmo at all. I had no time.
Mhm. Yeah, 4 weeks is nothing. Like
So
you don't want to just hit a massive gym program and like end up sick.
exactly. Exactly. So I was already fit from earlier that year. I just needed to like to maintain more than
Mhm.
anything. But I also tried to put on a little bit more weight, which is fun.
Yeah.
I put on more weight because you lose weight at
Yeah.
internationals and I didn't want to be underweight. So I kind of did put on a little bit more weight. I kind of let myself gain a little bit more so I could lose it while I was there. And I'm
Mhm.
so grateful for that because I would have been sick if I lost any more weight.
Oh, exactly. Like you don't want to start before you go and then realize when you're there you've got no energy to do these long hours
Exactly.
and long
Exactly. And
days.
this is a sport, like I always say with any sport, you can't function on a malnourished body. So
Mm-mm.
people who think pageant girls don't eat, you're wrong because they actually can't do anything if they're not fully
Yeah.
functioning. You
And
need,
it's huge, like
need the
especially
energy.
carbs as well, like just for brain functionality and everything. Like as an athlete myself, I know how crucial it is. And I mean, the on-stage walking, the long hours you're doing with pageantry, particularly internationally, you may as well treat it as a competition,
Mhm.
like
Food
race
is
day. So
fuel.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So what was the biggest challenge you faced, do you think, during your Miss Cosmo International journey?
Me, myself. I was constantly in my own head. And that
Mhm.
is something I kind of figured out by the end. I really kind of worked around it. But there were points where I wanted to go home. Absolutely. And it was not because of anything anyone had done. It was because of my own mental like battle that I was playing. It is so weird when you're put in a what is technically a competition. Well, it is a competition, but what is a competition with 75 other women and
Yeah.
they are all phenomenal.
Mhm.
So it just feels like I'm not going to be good enough. Like it feels like, well, what have I done that's more special than her? Like
Mhm.
nothing in reality, but once you kind of figure out, and I did figure out halfway through that, you know what, my accomplishments are my accomplishments. I got here just as much as they did. Like I put myself here, so did they. There's no difference between us. Um, Once you realize that, everything becomes a lot easier and it becomes a lot less of a mental challenge. But me, as my own biggest enemy, really. I was constantly fighting with myself. I kind of had to just like fight myself to like
Mhm.
stay awake, to keep energy, to keep having fun, forcing myself to have fun. And there was a significant point where I kind of like switched and you could tell I was having a lot more fun. It's because I was like, if I can't do anything else, I'm going to have a blast. And it showed. And that became a lot easier for me from then on. And I kind of glided through the rest of it, having a little bit more fun.
I can't speak for other people, but I totally agree with myself as well. Oftentimes, what I found with pageantry and the women that go into it, they're often already type A people, especially the winners. So then you can be very hard on yourself as well. So it's like you're okay, so you won your pageant in your country, and now immediately you're like, well, it's so hard not to compare. So you're looking at the other international women and the delegates, and you're thinking, oh, what are they doing? Like, what can I do that better positions myself? But you're so right. Like at the end of the competition, if you leave and you go, I spent the whole time just worrying about, yeah, everyone else and didn't actually enjoy the experience. And that is something I did notice from your reign is that the joy that came across in your page, like, although I 100% know there were tough moments and I know how much work was going in, I don't know all of it. Obviously, I wasn't there and I'm not you, but just personally from getting to know you, you put your whole heart into things, I've noticed. And yeah, it's that's why I love these conversations and I wanted to set this up is because hearing these stories from women that come across so powerful, it can often deter other people and go, well, I can't be like that because I'm not switched on all the time and I break down. It's no, we all do. Um,
Yep.
it might be in the shower, it might be at other times, but it's important to know that you're still human and you're still going through these emotions. But yeah, I just want to say that you represented so incredibly and yeah, I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to have watched it. What's one of the biggest lessons that you've learnt from the experience that you feel like you've brought back into your own life, whether it's to do with pageantry or just, yeah, life in general?
Closed mouths don't get fed. That is one thing I've learned a lot. In kind of like a roundabout way.
Mhm.
Like you obviously can't be making demands in an international pageant. That doesn't look good on anyone. But if you are sitting around being like, oh, I wish people supported me. I wish
Mhm.
they supported me. No one's just going to show up and support you. You've got to make them do it. Give them a reason to. So putting yourself out there, continually putting yourself out there, you'll always get return. It's if you just keep going, people will notice. I've kind of taken it back into my personal life here. I don't sit around and wait for things anymore. I really just go out and get it. And I put myself forward for things like promotions at work, my study. No one's going to hand it to you. And although you have a village behind you at an international pageant, you are primarily on your own.
Mhm.
Especially at Cosmo, where your team is not allowed to travel with you. Um, you're really not allowed to have anyone. It's you against the world. So you have to learn to just go and grab things when you can. And if you don't actually reach for it, no one's going to hand it to you. So that's something I've really, really tried to remember as I've come home and push myself back into normal life.
Yeah, and I mean, taking on that lesson, I guess you can apply that to everything is like if you don't just go for it yourself, someone's not just going to give it to you.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge thing. But yeah, it's tough to learn because you can sit there, especially when you're, yeah, representing Australia, which doesn't maybe have the biggest backing in fans. Yeah, it can be hard at times to be like, why can't I have that when someone else does? But true, it's like just go take it and do your best. I think Australian representatives in particular bring that other people don't, because I'm representing Australia soon, and I'd just love to hear your perspective on that. What do you think, yeah, we bring that's different?
I think Australians bring a really fresh kind of beauty. It's kind of known that plastic surgery and filler and aesthetics are a huge thing in pageantry. And you know what? I'm like, support it. If I had the money, I would do it too. If I would do it too. If you ever see me get really rich and I have a different face, mind your business. But I think we kind of know that like that's not the typical here in Australia. Our beauty standards are so different from anywhere else in the world. Especially if you go to Asia, like where fair skin is the beauty standard, but in Australia, like you want to be as tanned as possible.
Mhm.
And all of this. So when we show up to an international pageant, we bring our Australian beauty standards with us. We bring our ideal of beauty with us. And I think it's a cool thing because beauty is so subjective and everyone's going to find beauty so different. And it's obviously it's not the biggest part of a beauty pageant, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
the end all and be all, but I think it's really unique to see. The confidence is different from other people. Like you don't feel insecure in the way you look because you know that you love the way you look. And I think that's something that Australians always bring. And I think it's something commentators always say. They always say, wow, Australia is so fresh. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's just fresh. There's something really unique and fresh about her. Like something we haven't seen before. And that happens every single time. You can look at Australian representatives and none of us look the same.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed too. Like everyone's their own person, but that is that collective freshness and that it's almost a bubbly energy. I mean, that's why they love, I guess, Australian actresses and me being an actor myself. It's like you kind of see that when you go international and they're in either American films or certain things. They do stand out with a kind of
Mhm.
freshness in it. I think it's the guard's not up. And it's what you said that you do as well when you're international. You're just you.
Mhm.
And yeah, whether or not it's kind of that unpolished thing that I think Australians bring that's authentic and fun and why people, yeah, connect with
I
us.
love it. They enjoy it. It's like a
Mhm.
tourist attraction.
Yeah, I love that. That's so nice. Okay. Moving on to kind of your socials, because I know you're incredible at social media and it's a huge part of pageantry and it's a growing industry. You've built a strong connection with people through dance and social media. So, yeah, how has that actually played a role in your journey and what drew you to do that?
Well, I was a dancer and I was
Mhm.
a really good dancer. I was a elite competitive dancer for a long time. And I kind of quit a few years ago just because not due to any bad reason. It was just like a chapter of my life I was ready to be closed with because I'd done
Mhm.
it for so long. And, I'm getting old, so my body is just not what it used to be when it comes to that sort of stuff. So when I got to Cosmo, everyone does TikTok dances. Everyone does it. But they're like always like a little bit like cute and like a little bit like
Yeah,
I'm not that kind of dancer. I've always been a performer. I've always been big on stage. I've always been like my dance teacher always said that like I would perform too much that my technique would go out the window. So that was always my criticism. But honestly, I think a bigger performance is better than technique and no performance. So
mhm.
I picked up my phone and I was looking through dances and I love Zara Larsson. I'm a big Zara Larsson fan.
Same.
And I see that she's been doing this dance at her concerts. And I'm like, that looks fun. I could do that easily and put a bit of energy into that. So I recorded it and people were obsessed with the amount of energy I was putting in. They started calling me Miss like comedy and Miss Energy. And I was like, hold on. Let me do this again. Did it again.
Mhm.
The exact same dance, more energy. They were loving it. I just kept dancing, kept dancing, kept dancing. And I was uploading one of these dances nearly every single day with full energy. No matter how I was feeling, it was always full energy, or I'd kind of like sneak some bit of comedy into there. And then people started doing it with me. The fans all learned it. There's
Oh,
videos of them like doing it outside the bus as we were leaving, like all in a big group. And I was like,
oh wow.
dance has always been a way for me to like, show who I am. And I've always been drawn to it. I've always been drawn to dance. Even before I started dance, I was like, Mum, dance. Put me in
Mhm.
dance. And it's been the way that I've expressed myself my entire like teenage years. Whenever I was sad, happy, angry, I would express it through dance. And I kind of lost that when I quit. I kind of lost that little expressive outlet. So when I actually got to Cosmo and I could use it again, and I found a way to like embed it within the pageant itself and my experience, it made things, that's pretty much what made the turning point for me. It made things a lot easier, a lot happier. I could express myself through a silly little dance. And it was silly to most people, but it meant the world to me.
I loved watching it. That's something that really drew me in on your journey and stuff is, yeah, I could see the passion. I didn't know you were actually a dancer before, but it makes so much sense because you make it look so easy. For me, it was the intelligence because I'm studying strategic communications and it was your intelligence of knowing to keep doing it. And then
Mhm.
it became a trademark. And it was really fascinating to watch you like, I mean, your socials were incredible beforehand, but and it makes sense because you know the strategies, but also it's you being authentically you and just having fun, which is actually the whole thing. Like I realized some of my most viral clips is literally just me living my life and someone was randomly filming it and they're the ones that go viral. I'm like, well, I can't repeat that.
Yeah,
But
well, that's the
yeah.
entire thing from what I've learned from social media and my career in social media is
Mhm.
people look for more like relatability. They don't
Mhm.
look for something to look up to anymore. They look for someone that is like them, but is still doing the big thing. So I think that kind of really helped. Like, this girl, she's just doing TikTok dances. She's normal. Like
Yeah.
she's cool. But it ended up just working out. And I always tell people, like, find something that's uniquely you and blast it.
Yeah.
Blast it.
Stick
Put
to
it
it.
out there.
Oh, interesting. This will be one of the last questions on pageantry because I know you have such an incredible life outside of pageantry as well, and you're very talented in many different areas. But I did want to just touch on that we share national directors. So Sophia and Charlotte are also my directors for Miss Grand Australia. What have you loved about their leadership throughout this journey that you've had?
Yeah, well, what's funny? I met Sophia and Charlotte the first time I competed at Grand, and they weren't directors yet, or Grand yet.
Hmm.
And they see potential like no one else. And I think that's just such an amazing skill to have. And they saw it in me and they foster it. They will come back to you until you are ready to go. Like they will
Hmm.
find you wherever you are until you're ready to go. And I think continuing on from that, even after you win, they've been through it. Both been title holders themselves. They've competed overseas themselves. So it's not somebody who has no idea what you're going through. And you'll find in a lot of countries, their directors have never actually competed in a pageant. They can only just see what they can see from the outside. So having someone who understands, who you can fall back on if you need to, and also, just to get into me personally, I struggled badly with my mental health once I got home. It wasn't due to the pageant, it was just a personal situation. And they could have been harassing me to like post this, post this, be here, do this, like where are you? Where are you going? Instead, they kind of recognized that I needed a break and allowed me to have that. And I will forever be grateful to them for that. They kind of sense. It's like you become their little sisters and they're taking care of you like the little ducklings. That's something you're going to experience going through the rest of this year, and I'm so excited for you. And especially as you go to the Philippines as well for the
Um,
Gigantes. Um,
yeah,
like
that yeah, true that trip. I'm so excited about that one. That'll be
it's
fun.
beautiful. You're going to love it. So having them around, it genuinely makes a huge, huge improvement to what could be a very stressful experience.
Yeah, I think it's what you touched on as well, their emotional intelligence and knowing. I feel like they know everything before you know.
Yes.
And it's that big sister energy, but I do feel like they're so vibrant and they're still so young and fresh and they've been through it. It's
They could
exactly what you
compete again
said.
if they wanted to.
Exactly, like literally, and they should because they're incredible. But it's something I noticed because I don't know if you knew, but my first pageant was actually with Miss Australia pageants, and yeah, but they didn't just drop me after that. Like even though I went to other systems, I did Miss World. I was always drawn back to them because they were so supportive just of outside life. They often say that pageantry like should be a stepping stone and I just love that attitude because I mean they're successful businesswomen in their own right and then pageantry to them is yeah such a big passion and now a growing business for them. But yeah, I agree and I love that for you they had that recognition and support, which is so huge because it's recognizing a human, not just a product and not just a brand ambassador.
Exactly. Agreed.
Okay, moving on to outside of pageantry because you do so much. Um, Beyond pageantry, just so the audience knows, what's some of your passions and goals for your future and what are you doing right now?
So I have ADHD. So I have a lot. I do a lot. I do a lot of things and I have a lot of goals. But right now, my primary goal is actually to finish my law degree. So that's got a few years ahead of it. I'm only in first year, but it's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I've wanted to return to study for a long time, and I'm finally in a position now where I actually have the chance. But going down the track, I want to live overseas. I want to take myself overseas, and I think I can do that with law. Um, that's my primary focus right now. I am kind of like locking everything there, putting all my eggs in one basket because it's something I'm good at. It's something
Yeah.
I've discovered I'm really, really good at and very passionate about, and I love studying. I do. So that's
You
what
need to do law, so
you
that's good.
do. You
Yeah.
do. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of study involved.
Yeah, it's just a little. The books
A
are
bit of
like
it
this big.
reading.
Yeah.
I'm currently on uni break right now, which is why I'm so refreshed. Otherwise, you would see me rocking in the corner of my room with like no makeup, hoodie, like
In full study mode. Yeah. Yeah.
like that is the feeling right now. But I go back in like 2 weeks, so that's where I'll be soon.
Okay, I hope you're enjoying the break. I know my auntie just went through it as well, but she's a professor in medicine as well, and she did it on top of it, which she's insane. But yeah, just to see the amount of work that goes into it and the hours you spend, like mad respect to you. But you're so intelligent, and I know that like you have that work ethic, so you're gonna get through it. You'll be fine. And also, just to touch on it, you studied to be a pilot as well, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my first degree was
Mm.
aviation. Um, I'd already been in the aviation industry for a long time by that point. Well, a long time, a few years.
Yeah.
But my first ever job out of high school was as a flight attendant.
Okay.
So I got into the aviation industry quite young. And during COVID, I kind of really struggled with what I wanted to do in life. Because when you're a flight attendant, you don't have time to do anything else. Like your job is your life and your life is your job.
Mhm.
So during COVID, I kind of like had this like mental struggle of what do I want to do? So I actually went down the professional pilot stream. And this was on the recommendation of, my colleagues and other female pilots I'd talked to at work. And they had said, like, you're actually kind of mentally attuned to that kind of job,
Mm.
like structure and procedure. And I'm very much so into like the mechanical side of planes. I had the most fun in my emergency procedures training. But I've always had an
Okay.
obsession with planes. I've always been a bit of a weird, like, plane freak. Like, this girl's down at the airport watching the planes land. Like, there's planes flying over my house, and I can name them by hearing them.
Wow.
By hearing the
Okay.
engine, I can usually figure out what plane it is. I think we've just got a 737 going over right now.
That is
That's like,
fascinating.
that's the level I'm at with planes. So it was kind of a natural
Progression into it.
progression,
Yeah.
absolutely. And once I actually did do it though, and I got my pilot's license, I was a bit like, I don't want to work in this. I just want to enjoy it.
Mm.
So you won't find me working in aviation anytime soon again, but I think I'll probably end up with a bit of a specialty in aviation law as I
Yeah, I mean, that must be
explore
huge.
career.
Like the industries are so big. So, I mean, I always say like the more study, it's not going to hurt. It's only going to help. And especially with law, like if you can come from a degree beforehand, it's often, yeah, it gives you that backing and that kind of the
Yeah,
study knowledge and everything. And you're going into it now
absolutely. And I
with
was so
your
young. I
methods.
was so young when I first
Yeah.
studied. So and I didn't enjoy it the first time.
Yeah.
Having the opportunity to turn around and enjoy and
Mm.
actually want to study and further my education, it makes a big difference in how you.
Yeah, a massive asset to law as well. So finally, what legacy do you hope that you've left as Miss Cosmo Australia, and what are you most excited about in this next chapter?
I hope I've inspired girls to genuinely let themselves out,
Mm.
let who they are out. I feel like we got to a point in Australian pageantry where everyone was very like, I hate the word like pageant patty.
Hmm.
I think we just got to a point where like, okay, we see other people doing that, that's what we need to do. And so every single girl I've talked to at every single pageant has something cool going on. They have a quirky part of their personality. They're fun to talk to, especially one-on-one. And I think we try and make this mold of what a pageant queen should look like. And I was never in that. And I refused to ever be molded to that. The one time I did try, I honestly like lost worse than I ever had. And that was like my second time doing Miss Grand Australia. And it wasn't because I placed first runner up. It was because I was unhappy with my performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could tell that I didn't do my best.
Hmm.
And that was the one time I tried to fit into a mold, and I will never ever do that again. Because when you just let yourself out, you let yourself loose, you take what's in here and actually just let it shine, you will always win. And I want every girl to come after me. I want the next Miss Cosmo Australia to come after me to have that same kind of, like vigor and love for just living and letting themselves out and their personality. And I'm drawn to girls like that as well. So, by the way, guys, by
Yeah, apply now.
the way, guys, open on Miss Australia pageants. Um, but I really want people to know that you don't have to be the perfect pageant queen to win, to go overseas and represent your country. Sometimes it's better if you're not.
Yeah, you're
Sometimes.
looking for an actual human being and someone that, yeah, can take that title and actually do something with it rather than fit into a mold that's, yeah, one of many. All right, thank you so much for that. What we're gonna do, because I have taken up a lot of your time today because I
Oh,
just had so many questions.
me yapping.
No, no, we love a good yap. I'm gonna move on to the rapid fire questions. So these ones are just quick and short and just answer how you feel. So are you an early riser or a night owl?
Oh, night owl.
Okay. You
Absolutely night
probably need that for study, to be honest.
owl. Even beforehand, I am bad for going to sleep after midnight.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same. It's tricky to get out of that habit. What's your go-to comfort food?
My go-to comfort food. Oh, sounds so bad. Like tuna mornay. I love tuna mornay. Everyone
Okay.
finds it so gross. I love it. Like with a bit of baby corn, a lot of cheese.
Yeah, I don't find it gross. I love fish. I was just on a fishing trip holiday, so yeah, I stand behind that. Sounds good. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, there's a few.
I've got
I'm a
like so.
big, although I'm not the most polished speaker, I absolutely can be very articulate. And something I find really frustrating is when people say things like, use. Ah, no, I can't do it. I can't. I can't.
I'm
Like
trying to think if
use.
I've said it.
No, I don't think you have. I don't think you have.
Okay.
I hear it all the time, like, oh, use all, and I'm like, or even like, oh, I seen someone do that the other day. I'm like, you saw someone do that the other day.
Yeah, it's the little things. That's exactly true. It's
That's
like,
absolutely. I'm like, it makes my
okay,
eyes twitch. I'm like, no.
that's good to know. Good to know that. If you were given the chance to steal something, and I know you wouldn't because you're not
Airbus
one of those
A380.
people. A what?
Airbus A380.
I'm like, did you stutter? No, okay. All right.
Favorite plane. Need that. Four engines.
Mm.
Double story.
Just in the backyard, just keep it there.
Yeah, I might live in it actually.
Okay. Love that view. Do you have a favorite song?
Oh, I've got so many. Like
Mhm.
of all time or like right now?
Of all time. Let's go
Of
of
all
all time.
time, even harder.
Yeah.
Freedom by Beyonce. It was always going to
Um,
be a Beyonce song. I'm not going to lie. It was
okay.
always going to be a Beyonce. I'm a Beyonce girl. But
Mhm.
freedom, I love protest music. I love music that has meaning because I find all art is political. It
Mhm.
inherently is. And freedom is such a powerful, powerful song. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it.
Mhm.
It has Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar, two of my favorite artists of all time. And especially for me being like half African American, it has a lot of meaning. It carries a lot. Probably second favorite, I'm gonna add this in there, is once again also by Beyonce. It's called American Requiem from the Cowboy
Oh, I'm
Carter
not sure
album.
if I've heard that one. I do love the Cowboy Carter album, but yeah, I'll have to go
Yeah.
back and listen
It's
to
the
that one.
opening song, and
Okay.
I'm not only just like half black, I am Southern. So I'm from
Mhm.
those Southern states, and it really sings about that experience and what it means to grow up as, the daughter of someone from the South. So
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
that's really fascinating. Very, very good answers. What movie makes you laugh?
What movie makes me laugh? I feel like I'm not like a laugh person in
Mm.
movies. I feel like when I watch things, I'm like it's that breathe out of your nose. You're like,
Oh, okay.
but let me think of a movie that makes me laugh
Or a TV show.
or a TV show. Yeah. Funny Dexter is one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. I know, but it actually is funny. I
Okay.
find like awkward personalities like that so funny. Other than
Mm.
that, I also found Twilight quite funny.
Oh, it's so good.
Twilight is a comedy movie, and I'll stand by that.
Oh, oh, it's so good when they're
You name
running.
my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
There's so many good moments. I like, yeah, I watch them every year at least twice through. It's terrible, but it's so good.
Hilarious.
Okay, what would you wear if you had to wear a Halloween costume for the rest of your life, every day?
If I had to wear a Halloween costume, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Everything disappears out of my brain the second.
I'm the same. It's hard. It can be very subtle though. Like people often think a Halloween costume like you have to be a minion or something, but no,
Oh no,
you could
actually, I would do
be.
that.
Oh yeah, straight like full minion.
I actually have this weird obsession with minions.
That's so weird that I just said it, but
I have like a
oh.
minion skincare headband
Ah,
that I wear like every time I do my skincare to wash my face. I've
okay.
got
I have a Hello
multiple
Kitty.
minions. It's actually like one of my like computer desks that I'm looking at right now. I've got minions everywhere, and it's like in an ironic way. I don't just like love them for the sake of loving them. It is a joke, but the joke's gone too far now. So maybe I would dress as a minion or like the Lorax.
Both requires full body paint.
Let it grow, let it grow.
Oh well, I mean, you have the personality that could match it, so I feel like you could take that cosplay. What is something that you first notice about someone?
I'm always jealous of everyone else's hair. It sounds so bad. I'm always jealous of people's hair. So like the first thing I notice is someone's like beautiful, like amazing hair blowing in the wind. I know smile is a nice answer, but I'm just gonna say like I'm chronically jealous of people's hair because I have very short, very fine hair.
I was gonna say I love your hair. I think it's
I
beautiful.
know, but I love seeing a girl with like beautiful blonde hair. I'm
Mm.
like, damn, I
Yeah,
wish that
well,
was me. Her
I
hair is
admit I'm
amazing.
probably a bit the same because my hair is like naturally quite short, and then if someone just has natural long hair, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, every
Like,
single time I'm like, wow. I've like honestly gone up to people, random people in the airport, the shopping center, and been like, what do you use? Like, is that all yours? Is that your natural hair?
yeah,
Like,
the important questions.
hmm
All right. What is your favorite way to celebrate a small win? So you've had many big wins recently. I mean, all these incredible, yeah, opportunities but what about a small win?
Small win. A nap. I do so much that I just love to have to nap. But frankly, I'm gonna be honest, it's shopping. I love to have a little shop. Something small happens, I'm probably shopping. The Mecca app is permanently open on my phone. I'm constantly scrolling through what's new. I'm like, well, next time something good happens, I'm gonna buy that. So
I love when you, no, but I'm the same. Like, I love when you link something to like an achievement or something. Because I remember, I think I got a lip gloss or something similar. And then you're always, whenever you use that lip gloss, you
yeah,
think
it's
of
like
that small win and you're like, oh, I feel good now.
yeah, even my big wins, usually shopping, buying
Okay.
something, a bit of retail therapy.
Yeah, nice. So, if you're a movie or book character, who would you be? And it can be movie and book. And this one's, I feel like it tells a lot about someone.
I was gonna say Gru, so I could have all the minions, but I need to be serious about this.
You don't have to be if that's if you feel like Gru's you, that's all right.
Low key, have you watched Sinners?
Yes, yes, that's such a good movie.
Such a good movie. I feel like it'd be kind of fun to be Haley Steinfeld's character.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
really like a serious answer, but like
Hmm.
I think it'd be so interesting to like be in that environment. In a book though, if I was to be a book character, I watched Ellie's and Ellie said
Hmm.
Selena from Throne of Glass. There's another character that's like her worst enemy and then ends up being her best friend, Lysandra. I'd probably be her because
Okay.
although me and Ellie have never had an enemy stage,
Get into that
it
arc,
was
are
like
we?
just straight to bestie. I think it's because we're both like really like just like bro kind of characters. But
Hmm.
I think so. Yeah, Lysandra and Selena. So I could bring a little bit of drama into my life and have some beef with Ellie and then become besties with Ellie.
Love that. Love that. Well, thank you for those really fun answers. You're always so lovely to chat to. And yeah, this is the end of the podcast, but thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Bye.
Bye.